Hank Plona. Coach will open it up with a statement and we'll jump into questions.
Don't really have much of a statement after Saturday. Obviously happy to get a win on Saturday. A couple days here to kind of gather ourselves and prepare for the home stretch of our season. So hopefully get some rest, hopefully get some rejuvenated a little bit, and be ready to go Saturday night.
I guess the big thing, Coach, looking at team status going into this week, I know you now get a week before you guys play next.
Yeah, I think he's moving in the right direction. I think there's a chance for Saturday night. Again, guys, he had a concussion, so it's all based on how he feels. So he's doing workouts. We have a plan for him this week, and if he continues to feel he does not have any more headaches or migraines or things like that, so he's moving in the right direction, but obviously that can always change. We're never going to prioritize. I guess it's the big question how we're starting here, but it's not. It is what it is. He's a player on our team that needs to get healthy, and we want him to be healthy. He's an important part of our team. He'll help us if he's healthy. We'll keep taking care of his best interest as good as we can, but I'd say as of right now, we're as optimistic as we've been that he's on the right track to be back on the court.
Do you have a deadline that you have for how many practice days full go that they need to have before they play a game?
Not exactly. I'm not an expert on that. There's different. He's completed phase 1. I don't really get the clarification. There's some contact individual stuff. No, I don't think there's any. I think there's requirements before you can do any kind of contact.
You just have personal agreement on it.
No, I don't. But I'm not going to put him out there if I don't think that he's completely good to go and feels right. He's obviously somebody we've been together now for almost 3 years, and he's somebody that's going to be. He's somebody that we're very close to and is going to be an important part, I guess, hope to be an important part of his life for a long time, and vice versa. So we just want to make sure he feels good. I just instruct him to be very honest with how he feels. Nobody else knows how his head feels, and he's been through this a couple times in his past. So, we'll see how this week goes. He's just finished a lift this morning, and he feels pretty good. He's going to do some shooting stuff. He's going to be in the non-contact part of practice. I think we're going to shoot him by Thursday. Hopefully, if he keeps progressing, he'll be a full go in practice, and then I can't imagine. He was breathing pretty hard in there right there, so I know doesn't really have his wind. He's not in great shape, so I would think we'll try to gradually work him back into games if he's good to go.
This is a middle team that is coming off, I think, a 1-point loss in overtime to Delaware. I know they'll play Kennesaw before you guys meet again on Saturday. Do you feel that them playing an overtime game, playing a game on Thursday is an advantage for you all, for them maybe being a little bit more physically fatigued, and you all are? Do you think this break is an advantage to get your team healthy?
I don't really have any idea. I think if you go into a game thinking that maybe you have some kind of physical advantage and that makes you not do your best because it's going to be easy, that's how you get popped. We were on a 4-game losing streak when we went to middle, and we beat them. So I don't really know. I think you try to. I guess I'd rather have a week off than play a game on Thursday. I thought in the first half this past Saturday night, the short turnaround affected us, but then all of a sudden we looked rejuvenated and played really well in the second half. So I don't know. Those are good storylines, and we can try to figure out how those things work. But I do know that we went into middle on a 4-game losing streak, and if they somehow thought that we were down and out or had been on a road trip and they were playing those storylines, it got them popped. So I don't know. I'm not going to spend any more time other than answering this question, thinking about that. We're going to prepare as good as we can and have our best effort on Saturday.
You guys held them to, I think, 4-19 from 3 the first time you played it. That's a middle team that likes to shoot the 3. At times you guys have struggled defending it. Was that kind of an indication that you guys have improved in that aspect of defense?
Yeah, I think the last 4 games we've been a little bit better. We kind of made a conscious decision going into the Kennesaw game that we have to pressure out, and that we're allowing just too much comfort on offense. So I think at Kennesaw went 7 for 16. I think middle was 4 for 19. Maybe we overcooked it against Jacksonville State. They were 1 for 9 with 50 free throw attempts. And then a pretty good job versus FI. I can't remember the exact number the other night, but I thought we did a good job guarding the line. So I think we've done a better job as far as our defense goes when we pressure out and make teams feel feel us and make them feel the heat or the pressure or a little discomfort and not have the rhythm to shoot. I thought that was successful versus Middle the first time for sure. A lot of their guys are shoot first from the perimeter. We did notice that they've been very successful. If they make 9 or more threes, I think their record's way better than if they make 8 or less. So yeah, it's a conscious effort, and I think they made 11 the other night at Delaware, and they scored 88 points overall. So I think you want to try to limit team strengths, and I do think that's one of their biggest strengths. So we'll try to continue to do that. I thought it was a big part of us winning the game.
Obviously Saturday, Valentine's Day, you're playing your rival as 100 miles of hate. You go down there. I wonder what that environment was like there. Now you bring it back here for a Valentine's Day holiday like that.
That's quite a connection. Hate, love, Valentine's Day. It was really good to get a win down there. We won down there at a time when it felt like we needed one. I don't know. We kind of got to, when you lose a few games in a row, you kind of feel like it's us against the world, and I think this team's taken a little bit of that mindset. I think that the last 2 weeks, we have more of an understanding of the effort and the intensity and the physicality that it takes to be successful. Obviously, yeah, they're a rival, but man, I don't know. Every game is important. To us, there's no more important games this time. There's 7 games to go in the regular season. There's no more that's important than other. We'd like to protect our home court. We've dropped a couple here. We want to make sure that doesn't continue. Obviously, with a win on Saturday and then a week to prepare, you want to make sure you give your best effort here, whether it's Valentine's Day or whether it's Christmas or whether it's 4th of July or any other holiday. So hopefully some Hilltopper fans in Bowling Green think that Valentine, go get dinner beforehand, come out at 7 o'clock, enjoy some basketball, and we'll try to put that good feeling in the air for everybody that celebrates with us.
Coach, even in the win at Tennessee, obviously there's always some things that you want to clean up. Playing them a second time, did you guys go into that one with a different direction, or are you just kind of playing your game?
I think defensively we did a good job, so I think you always prepare for when things don't go right as well. So, but I do think that every team, when we've changed what we do because of the opponent, we've failed a lot more than we've succeeded. And when we focus on being who we can be and focusing on our jobs, what we need to do, we've been a lot more successful. So, you try to learn your team throughout the year. And obviously this is a very, it's a new group, and it's changed a little bit with guys in and out the lineup throughout the year. And, and we're still kind of forming that. I do feel the last 2 weeks I think our guys feel like we're in a good place right now. And the win on Saturday versus FIU was important. I just thought at halftime we basically said, all right, we've been working our tails off, and we can sense we're a little tired. But man, this is the time where you dig down deep. If we're all really important to each other, we're going to dig down deep. And to their credit, they did. And obviously that gives us a week to kind of gather ourselves. At the same time, I don't know. I haven't fully got into if Middle's doing anything completely different than they were the first time they played us. Have not watched their Delaware game yet. Obviously, they play Kennesaw on Thursday, so we'll just kind of see what they're doing. I know they're going through it a little bit, and when you do, just like we did, sometimes you make changes and you play different and you play different players. So obviously, I would just, I guess the biggest thing that we're looking out for, probably I'm looking out for, is if they're going to make changes on their end, as far as Saturday night versus Delaware, or if they try to do some different stuff versus Kennesaw, because obviously when you're out of rhythm, you do try to look for answers. So I can see if we have to make adjustments based on if what they do, then yep, that could happen. At the same time, I feel like we're starting to get good I feel like for the first time all year, we're starting to build a little bit of an identity in how we play, and you want to keep building on that.
Kade unsealed his breakout game was against Middle Tennessee, 17 points. Of course, last time out, didn't put nearly as many shots in the goal, but I thought he still gave you some value defensively. I think you had him on Stevenson for good portions of that game. It just seems like he's kind of rounding into more and more of a complete player. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he's a little better on the defensive end than you'd guess, because he's strong and he's smart. So he doesn't give up position very easily. He's a good rebounder. He anticipates where the ball's going to go. So I think he helps us rebound the basketball on both ends. Man, he plays to win. He got the right intent at all times, and he's going to be an important part of our team, for the rest of this year and obviously moving forward long term. He's, from the day that he got here, he's somebody that I want to build around. Like, we want Kade to be an important part of Hilltopper basketball for many years. And so when you feel in the modern world, when you feel a guy is about as committed and thinking that as much as you are, you really want to invest in care and support that young man. So he obviously has a great ability to shoot the basketball, but he's more than just a spot shooter. He can play and guard multiple positions. He's a guard, but he can play guard those 6'5", 6'6" guys a little bit. He's able and willing. He's really willing to do whatever it takes on the defensive end to help us win. He's never in his feelings about what he has to do or whatever his job is on the court, he wants to do it. And obviously he has extreme confidence in his job to shoot the basketball. We try to encourage those shots to be 22 to 25 feet. They got a little close to 30 feet, I think, on. I think when somebody asked me after the game on Thursday night if we were shooting too many quick threes, and I kind of said not really, but after watching the film, I thought he was a little carried away on Thursday night in the first half. I think he did a really good job. I think he had a huge one on an out-of-bounds play from the corner that really got us going, and then Grant made the late clock three the other night. I think Kade, if Kade can shoot the right 6 or 7 threes, and on the games where he gets loose, if that turns into 9 or 10 like it did at middle, that'd be great. But he's a complete basketball player. He can defend, he can rebound. Got to keep taking care of the basketball. I want him to be confident with the ball. I think some of his mistakes with the ball are when he doesn't put pressure on the rim and he's trying to be almost too unselfish and find a teammate. So just needs to keep improving, but I think the game experience will be good for him, and obviously his shooting ability is something we can value and help us score here down the stretch.
What kind of teammate is Kade? Is he a vocal guy? Is he kind of one that kind of just leads by example? What kind of player is he outside of the game?
There's not. I think every coach in America is trying to get their teams to be more vocal. So it's. I wouldn't say anybody from our standard. I wouldn't say that Kade's a vocal guy, but I wouldn't say that anybody's really a vocal guy. We're trying to build that. Kade works really hard, and he's really demanding on himself. Like, if Kade has a game where he has 30 points, he's not going to act happy. He's not going to show any emotion. He's going to say, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing that. That's what I'm supposed to be. And when he struggles, he's very tough on himself. So honestly, he's wired like a lot of really good shooters are. Like, that's how shooters are wired. They think they have a job to do, and they hold themselves accountable to it. And their shooters are a little weird. They're a little. You have to be, because you never know when the shot's going to get open. If you're a really good shooter and you get denied and you're getting guarded, you might not get many touches for 18 minutes, but when you're open, you better hit it. Like, it's a unique skill set, and those guys, they work on their game and their shot more than most do. Like, it's almost like it's a specific skill set. So he's wired like really good shooters are wired, and now he plays to win. Like he's I went to Golden State Warriors training camp maybe 5-6 years ago. And Kade reminds me of how Klay Thompson approaches it. Klay Thompson's kind of a little bit of a loner, a little bit by himself. The guys respect him. He works his tail off, but man, he gets his own basket because he is shooting shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot, trying to kind of perfect what he does. Now, Kade's a good dude, easy to get along with. Clearly wants to be an elite player here at Western, and that's probably the trait that he has that naturally has leadership qualities. When him and I talk privately, like if when we're recruiting in the spring, Cade's gonna always say, well, we got to find guys who want to be here, coach. We got to find guys who want to be here, coach. Like, that's what he always says, because he lives and breathes it, And so when you have guys, a Bowling Green kid, a state champ, Warren Central graduate, all the things, he doesn't have to prove how important this is to him. You can see how important winning and putting up a banner here at Western is to Kade, and I would say that's probably his biggest leadership strength here, because he just breathes it, man. It's who he is. It's what he wants, and I think that rubs off on everybody. And when you play Kade, man, it gives me a lot of credibility, because it's clear how important winning here is to him. So, all right, if I want to say I'm going to reward that, then I play Kade Unseld, and that right there, I think, helps the team buy in and helps helps the team focus on hopefully getting a championship here in the next month or so.
Shifting over to a couple of guys I was wondering about this. First, Louis Simone, are we at the point where we might look at our medical red shirt?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't see why. I mean, for his long-term health and well-being, yeah. I mean, he's eligible for that. So, yeah, I would think that's likely.
When would you make a decision on that?
I don't know. I won't make a decision. If we continue to have healthy bodies, I can't imagine playing him in a game to ruin that for him is the right thing to do for his career and life and all that. So if somehow we lose a couple guys and there's a role that would be substantial to help our team, but I won't play him just 5 minutes in a couple games here and there.
About Noah Boyd, is he back practicing with the team?
Well, yeah, I would think potentially. Noah and I are going to have a discussion today, and I know Noah wants to, I know Noah wants to be an important part of our team and moving forward. So hopefully there will be some clarity on that in the next couple of days. But yeah, I'm optimistic about that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.